if anyone puts a comment also, it's like my issue with being shy was I was not always shy. When I was younger, when I was a kid, I would love going around dancing, being in skates. That was always a part of me. But if someone said something, like that did happen, someone said something, I don't even know what it is right now. I don't even remember, but it stays with you.
Yeah.
And then you think that's like that becomes your world because okay, I'm so not good.
This is the year 2022 and there is a brand right now in social media Dubai called Tidding. Mind you, 10 years later, this word is going to be the buzzing word on all social media platforms or all social media space in Dubai. And on today's podcast, we have the one who has been spearheading content creation and strategy for Tidding. Her name is Mahak and she's also the wife of Rohit Bharti. If you've heard our last podcast, you will know who is Rohit Bharti, but I don't think so you need to know who is he because he's a great man and great content creator. But in today's podcast, she will share about her insights of how she spearheaded and how she actually changed the entire game for Tidding and what the future holds for them. Plus, we also talk about mental health, a topic which many people don't speak about, and hearing her insights about how she dealt with mental health issues, I think will inspire you a lot. So, my name is Anil Lobo and you're listening to raynatours podcast. I hope you enjoy this one. Thank you so much for joining us, Meg. I mean, how are you feeling right now? First, I want to know that.
I'm nervous, honestly, because I don't know what to speak about. I've never really done stuff like this.
No problem. We'll talk about two things, okay? Number one is in the last episode, which was 5 minutes back, which we shot. Last time we spoke to Rohit, who's your husband, about his entire journey because I really wanted to know because when I spoke to him, it was I could relate to him like A to Z because of the backgrounds that he has and how he came from and all. Quite similar. In your case, I really want to know technicalities of this page called Tidding and a lot of other stuff and mental health aspect, right? So firstly, I want to know when you came across Rohit Bharti's work on social media.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What was your genuine reaction? I don't know. Like he's sitting right next to you. Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. Like it's okay because now Rohit Bharti and Tidding something else.
So luckily when I met him.
True, huh? True.
True. So luckily when I met him, I didn't know about his page at all because that time I had just come back from London to India, so I didn't really consume a lot of Indian or Gulf content. I only consumed like
this
European
was that
content.
Jaipur?
The Jodhpur, yeah.
Jodhpur, okay.
Yeah. So when I met him, he told me, I thought it was really cool because that's when I was in London consuming all the YouTube content. Is when I started thinking that that's really cool. How do I get into it? Because I didn't understand how to. I wanted to, yeah.
Okay.
But I was really shy and like, who's gonna record it? Who's gonna edit? And it was so many things at that time, right? It was like maybe 5-6 years ago. There was no like simpler apps to edit, etc. Right. And I wanted to do it then too, but when he told me, I was like, that's so cool.
Was this before you did or after you did your digital marketing?
So I met him after I'd finished my studies. I was working in London as well. I finished all of that. So when I was doing my bachelor's, I did communication studies. In that, I had done my dissertation in photography. So I had an aspect of the creative field. And that time also I chose a very serious topic because I like dwelling into serious things and research and all that. So my topic was the older age, like people of the older age, communities in India versus the UK. Like how it is, like how, just stereotype, heavy stereotype that how in India they are really taken care of, etc. And in the UK they do go in homes. I know in India they do too, but in the UK the problem is when they go in homes or they are given their own home, they might not have electricity. Some people die out of just the cold because not everybody has the money to go in a proper home.
Okay.
So the issues with that. And like they have to get a seat because everybody has a row house kind of situation there. So they have to get an electric seat that goes up like an escalator. All of that was really new. I just chose the topic out of whim, honestly. And that was a great topic to get into and how I could represent a few things. And that's when I like did my first big purchase of buying a DSLR and all. That was really fun. And then after that, after I finished it, I did my master's in international marketing management. So that was not like, it was still creative and I loved marketing, but it was not photography because I wanted to originally become a photographer because I had done an internship with my photography teacher who was a wedding photographer. And he was a wedding documentary photographer. So that was very, very niche. So the whole point was to catch things in the moment. Like, you know, that's when I realized that India was all so framed. Some things are very like staged. Everyone's going on stage taking a photo. Like that time, that's how weddings used to be. Now things are very different. But that's when I learned documentary photography, doing street photography as well. That was really cool. Like catching the water on the floor that's reflecting the city. It's like now people do it all the time.
Yeah,
At that time, it was phones. You could not use a phone for that. Not at all.
You needed a DSLR.
You needed it. So that was great. I loved it all. But when I did international marketing management, my mom's like, you can't be a photographer. Like you can, but like do something that potentially could be a job thing as well. Because photography is difficult, you know. So then I did international marketing.
Do you want Rohit to go out of the room?
No.
Because you still didn't answer that question.
What is the question?
The question was,
okay, sorry.
How did you feel like first time when you saw Rohit's content?
Yeah, so that's
because Rohit's content is really fun.
Yeah.
I do not know how your mindset is, but for me, like when I speak to you, I know like it's elite. It is Royal Rumble and all that. It's
Royal
not Desi.
Rumble.
Yeah, it's not
Royal
Desi
Rumble.
Daru. So I want to know. Yeah, I really feel like that. I mean, I know how Rohit is. I mean, I can relate. I want to know, like, when you first time you saw the content, what hit you?
So I thought it was really impressive that he was a
Really?
YouTuber. I thought that, but then when I saw the content, I did judge. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
I did judge the Bollywood part of it. I did because I was like, I don't know what it is, and I really distanced myself from a lot of Bollywood stuff. Like I barely watched it. I don't know why, because I didn't have a lot of Indian friends in London. That's why I was connecting that story.
Whole thing. That's the reason why I came. How did you get it?
Because but it was always my guilty pleasure.
Okay.
Like, you know, putting a Govinda song and dancing alone. And nobody should know about this because it'll be so not okay. Now I'm okay with it. Now I accept it. But when you're younger, you're like, that's so not cool. Look at him doing. But I really adore like his.
But actually, if you say everybody loves Govinda, but
but that time.
Aisa party mein if somebody wants to dance, they'll all be like, no.
But actually, now I'm okay doing that also. Like that time, I wasn't okay with that.
Okay, great.
So I did judge it, but I also thought, like he is like me, but what I hide. Like, you know, it's like. People it's like calm and chaos. People would assume I'm the calm and he's the chaos, but it's reality.
Yeah.
But it's the opposite. He's actually a really calm person, and I'm extremely chaotic inside, like extremely. Honestly, that's the thing. So I always suppressed all of this Bollywoodness that I loved. I would do these random dandiya dances in my room alone, only when I'm alone, because nobody should judge me for it. Because I have a very different presence. Like people assume something totally different of me, and I wanted to fit into that. I wanted to desperately fit in because. Like when you grow up, that's what you want to do. You want to fit into things, and I don't know. And and all my friends are not Indian. What will they understand? So rather, I fit into what it is. That's how I should think.
Do you think that in this time that you've met, now you're married, do you think Rohit actually changed you a lot compared to?
Compared to what I was, no. But
or if I have to put in another perspective, like what do you think Rohit as his persona is, how he is, how has that influenced you as a person and?
I think because of him, I've become really accepting of myself. Like I think that's my biggest issue was that I didn't accept that side of me.
Oh, okay.
So that I've started doing a lot more.
That's nice. I also like whenever you pick up if you research about Rohit and you see his interviews wherever, whatever, even on the Film Fair magazine, and he's always sorry, Khalid time. Sorry, that's Dhruv. But I'm quite sure aa jayega, kabhi na kabhi to aa jayega. It's going to be very soon. But whenever it will come and whenever it is come. Rohit has always taken your name to be the person who has changed this page called Tidding. But I mean, when I see Tidding, obviously I see it now. It's so good. It's like growing. It's like getting everything. But tell me the journey. When you saw it, as he told in the last podcast that he had Tidding, he had his page, but then he left Tidding. How did this thought come? Because you were doing a job as well, okay?
I was,
right?
Yeah.
You were doing something else, or is it in this only? Because I still didn't get clarity on what exactly.
I was working. I always ended up being in business development. I don't know how. Always, and not that it was of any interest to me.
Voice.
Acha.
It's a voice. Yeah. You don't know what it is.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's what when I was telling you that I used to consume a lot of YouTube content.
Yeah.
I knew the success that could be. Like I remember when I was in England, like there was this YouTuber called Zoella. She started like doing just hauls of Primark, which is a cheap brand in the UK.
Okay.
And she became huge in matter of 2 years.
Wow.
And my friends who started a blog, and she used to tell me, start your blog, just blog, not YouTube, She's also huge now. and I knew the possibility of like growth in the creative field of social media.
It's a new field.
And when I saw him, like he's not doing fashion or other things that other people are doing, and even he's not only just doing comedy, he's making parodies. There's production, there's music, there are actors, like it's a production house, you know. And I was like, why aren't you doing more of it? Like do these skits few times a year, but you've got to be consistent. Like I used to keep telling him that, but obviously because as you heard the Abu Dhabi thing, it becomes really difficult when you're traveling so much and working hard on something else to focus on this, unless you're working in Dubai. So then it's a bit easier, honestly. So like that's why I said let's do more consistently, but still we couldn't do that.
How did this thing come? I mean, he was doing his personal thing, but what hit you and said, no, let's push this now? What was that one moment? I mean, I'm quite sure there should have been one moment wherein, because he was creating content for fun, and you wanted to do it, but you were not hands in right now. But obviously, I'm quite sure that there was one, like you got that batti jal gayi, that thing came and like let's do this.
So what happened was like he would keep discussing ideas with me. Like I'm sure you know, as a creator yourself, you discuss random ideas, but he never had someone to shoot it, or he would be like, "Theek nahi, acha idea nahi hai, blah blah blah." But I would be like, "Let's just shoot it. Let's just shoot it and see how it is. Let's find the best light, go out and shoot it." And we did. Like I pushed him a lot for a few ideas that he had, and one of them like became really viral in a way where it was sent to loads of WhatsApp groups. It was this thing about the 4-day weekend in Sharjah versus Dubai.
Oh, the recent one, the
last year we had put
the mere paas maa wala, that one, right?
That one. And like that went really well. So he's like, oh, there is, like he again had that light inside.
So till that time there was not like full structure. What?
No. That was like last year.
Yeah, that was last year.
Yeah. So he then realized, there's potential, blah blah blah, and that was it. And that time I was still working with somebody else, and my full ideas and potential was with somewhere else. Like when your focus is somewhere else, you can't focus on this. So when we got married, I was still unsure about what I'm going to do. Am I going to do that? I still want to focus on this. I always wanted to focus on Tidding, but I didn't know what I could bring to the table. Honestly, I didn't know that. And because I am so honestly lazy, and
you are lazy.
I'm a lazy person, and because of which I found, you know how they say hire a lazy person, they'll do it quickly. That's me. That is me, and
that's so not believable. But okay, just
so I could put structure to it. Like I would be like, we can do 2-3 videos a week, and how we'll do it, and we'll only spend this much time doing it.
Okay.
And because I am like, he's very target oriented, I am not.
What?
Yeah, exactly. I know.
Oh my God.
I'm not target. Like if there's a target, then I'll be like, oh my God, I'll procrastinate and do it 10 minutes before the target. Like that's how I should submit all my work also. Like in the night, I'm like, please give me more time. But I had all the time in the world. I'm a high procrastinator. And because of which I found hacks, how to be able to do more work.
Yeah, I mean that's...
Yeah, I have had to do that. I have to have lots of breaks. But still, because of that, I could find consistency. Because there was no target, we didn't know what's going to happen with Tidding. Let's try whatever. Now when targets are coming, I'm again finding it difficult.
So, okay, I think there are 2 points now. One is when you thought that will happen, and now when you deep dive into this, into Tidding, I want to know now the second part. What made you say, because Rohit had also left his job. And I'm quite sure being in UAE and trying to do that is a very, very difficult thing. It's not like, okay, let's do it. It's not like that. It's like, I'm quite sure you all must have had a lot of talks, or you must have thought a lot, he must have thought a lot.
We did,
I mean, for him, I can understand. I don't know what went through you. So tell me, let's run to that time of your life, when that time was like something. I want to know what happened. Why did you decide, okay, let's stop, let's go?
So we had just gotten married and come back. It had only been 2
till
weeks.
That time you were still, I really felt
no, it's still. So it literally, we got married in March, and our entire focus shifted on Tidding in April. And now it is October.
I think in April, the followers were, do you remember when you
14,000.
Yeah, it was not like what it's doing now.
Now it's 55k, yeah.
So, coming back. April.
So in April, I knew that I wanted to get into social media, because every company I joined since London, I was the designated photographer, designated videographer. Matlab job kuch aur hai, but I'm doing this. Designated events person also, because I love organizing. And because my wedding was my huge project, because it was a big wedding, honestly, because I wanted a small wedding, and my Punjabi dad is like, nahi hone wala. So I'm like, theek hai, but I'll do it my way, right? So it had those 4 or 5 functions. It was in a great venue and flowers and whatnot, all of it. But I wanted to plan it then the way I did, and then I realized I'm a great planner.
Nice.
So that's when I started like thinking out of, okay, I will plan stuff, because now I know that I'm good at social media. Because even though they hire me for business development, all the 3 companies that I worked in, I'm doing social media also. It's always an add-on. So I told him, why don't we start doing Tidding, focusing on it completely, and if we get any other clients on the side where we can also do their social media, let's do that.
Okay.
So we started doing both together.
Okay.
But it was a really hectic time because, like, you go through this thing where you've just gotten married and you want to splurge.
Yeah, that's the most interesting part, because
But
you
we
just
didn't do
started the marriage.
We haven't even traveled yet. Like, we haven't even gone on a honeymoon yet or anything like that.
Okay, now
and
that
it's been 6 months, honestly. But because this has been our baby. Like, Tidding was a baby and now it's 50k
doing well.
years old.
The baby's grown well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going healthy. So coming to Tidding I think has I mean, the way I've heard of, the way I followed from last year, to be honest, I think in the past 3 or 4 months, I think that April time, there has been a huge boom on the page.
Yeah.
I really feel that there were initial channels or initial Instagram pages where the focus was. I think right now the focus is on Tidding, which is evident. I want to know, I don't want to direct answers because that is the strategy. I want to know indirect answers. What is the things that you adopted, which obviously, this is why, because I want people to know, because I don't want to make people, like, especially future content creators, like some way for them also, how do they plan? What were the strategies that you all took to have that change?
So because you've seen like his past videos were all content driven, parodies, musicals, etc. And he didn't understand the concept of TikTok trends, and they were very new that time. There was no, like, Reels had just began. So everyone was on TikTok, and that was really important. So then I told him, how do we do the creative stuff that you're doing, parody stuff that you're doing, and connect it to a reel?
Okay.
So that's what made it, like, it has to be Dubai based. Like, always for us, we are Dubai page, or just UAE based. Anything in UAE is happening. How do we connect it to a trend? It's like the new trend that's happening, that one with the glasses. You've seen that?
Glasses? Oh.
Right?
Yeah, I got it.
So we did that with the mask. Like, anything like that. Still do the large skits, still do the large parodies, but make it real. Before it was YouTube, right? But you've got to make it into a real format, because that's what will help us. Eventually, we want to get back to YouTube.
Longer format.
But we have to build our base first. It's like, there's a big difference in building an audience and building a community. So we wanted to build that community.
What according to you is that? Because
it's like, say you put something out there and it's viral. Like, we both share that same thing where some of our videos go super viral. And people are watching it because it's come on their Explore page.
Yeah.
But there are others who are watching it because they follow you. And even if it didn't come, they'll go and check your profile. Because they relate to your content. That's your community.
That would be called community.
Your community. Okay. Like, for example, he calls everyone Bidu, Bidu, Bidu. The people...
It sounded so different from you, but it was nice.
But the people who meet him outside and who call him Bidu, that's his community.
Yeah, okay.
So that was really important for us. We have an audience, obviously. But
yeah, I think the word Bidu also is something that he would use like for a long time. But now when I also, like, I'm following him a long time, but now I see that in that instance of the word Bidu being used a lot. Is this also a strategy, do you think?
No. That's on his page. That's how he is. Like, that's how he talks to himself. And when he's on the screen, like on story, he's talking to himself, like, in a way,
I just feel the word Bidu was, I mean, now I felt like, I mean, I see him as a content creator. I see what he's doing different. Again, he also rightly said about keep adapting and trying to know what's happening. So when I was trying to do that, I mean, I have my hawk eyes on everyone, even on him, obviously. Because I look up to him because of the content that he has created from so many years. So I really felt that for me, when I saw the word Bidu being used, I really felt that in the last 4 months it was used a lot. But not in a bad way, in a good way.
But not on Tidding. We mostly make English, like, conversations always English, except parodies.
I think it's on his personal thing. Might be because, I really felt I thought it was a strategy which you are using for the long term.
Because anything on his page, there is no strategy. He does what he wants.
Okay.
On his page.
Because if you see other pages, there are, like, for example, right now I think social media in Dubai is not that big. People would want to buy your merchandise and all. In India, it's
we have thought about that.
See. So it comes very smartly. Like, because I've researched about Indian social media. So it is very strategically placed when you're planning to do a merchandise. So when you keep using some words, when you try
that
to
will
get
be
that,
on your shirt,
it directly comes and people want, like,
but
they want
like Tidding cannot do a Bhiru shirt.
I don't know. That's your call.
Yeah, because
that's
it's
your
different.
Call.
It's
but
different.
I really felt that was I thought you would say yes. That's why I was like, that was what I thought. So tell me some other strategies which are you all trying to do any subtle strategies for the long term? Is there anything right now, or is it all short term and you are trying to push?
I mean, I'll be honest, it is short term. It is something that we think on the go, think like how can we make any trend UAE related, and that's about it. Like there's no long term strategy. Our strategy is just to build that community.
Community
that I was saying earlier, yeah, that's really important. Like no matter what brands we take in, how do we own it? Like we don't want to just put out anything and everything.
Right.
Because like with him when he used to make his older content, it was like he had already built that community. Even though he had smaller followers, like there was no comparison. Somebody might have a lot more,
right.
but people related to that video Gabbar saying that this that that was different. And I feel we want to stick to our forefront is comedy. And like that's why when I came in, things were different because I could focus on the posting, the editing, the calls, all of that, and he could just focus on the creative. And I feel with time, things will get back to more creative stuff. And how do we do everything in a more creative angle? Because then we could stand out.
Right.
You know, in the UAE
I'm also quite sure that as you're a husband and wife and you are pushing this baby of yours. I mean, personally, I do not think about numbers, but I really feel you all will be focusing on numbers.
Like followers.
Yeah. How much that influences your decision on content strategy? Like if I have to say, if you got views on one video and then some videos don't get, how do you all take that? Is it like okay, or the fact? Okay, not key.
The fact.
Honestly,
you won't like the fact.
I want to know
that.
You won't like it. No, the reason being also very simple. Why I want to put this question out is because for people are going to be, there are a lot of content creators, but there are some genuine content creators who I really feel should not get dejected about the numbers.
Followers, views and all.
And to feel sad about it also is normal. It's not that boss, you're only the one in the world who's feeling that. It's okay. That's the reason I want to know the truth. When you all don't get the numbers that you'll expect, or else I'm quite sure that there might have been a down in this 3 months also. What happened? What was the thing that you all went through? I really want the truth.
So when we started with the 14K and I took over the page and all that, I did want to reach 50K. I did want to reach that. After when I reached it, beyond the time we thought we would reach it, we thought December, but we reached it in August. So within like 4-5 months of me being there, we reached that. I'm happy, honestly. Like after that, the number doesn't count. It doesn't bother me as much. Obviously, it would be great to be 100 and all that, but I don't like. I would like it to be a Dubai-based community, and Dubai there are not a lot of people, or just UAE-based community. So it's okay. I'm genuinely okay with it. But the time it hurts is the time we make a parody video, and it doesn't get the views a simple trend gets. Because in a parody video, we have written, there's production. I've been standing on the road and taking a video in the heat, and it didn't.
The actual content creator job when you don't get it, and you're just getting for random trends.
But now that's become the content creation, right? Like that's where the thought is like, what is it? Is it the trend that comes and you copy it, or you just do, or you put your take on it? Or is it this? That's why he hated to do trends in the start. He's like, why should I? But we have to be consistent. If we just do creative stuff, we can't post every time because it's not easy.
That was my next thing. Do you, I mean, I don't know how Rohit takes it. I forgot to ask him. I might ask him next podcast. But when you, as a content creator, you understood that these trends are the only thing which is driving content right now. Do you think Rohit, or do you think you yourself get a little bit like annoyed ki bhai, we are just doing trends just to get followed? Does it impact? Because I know Rohit is like a legit proper content creator. He's not like an influencer. I mean, influencers do it for trends, but a content creator becomes an influencer, but content is the main thing. So has there been times where he's like, I'm tired, I can't, I mean, anything like that? Mood off the road.
Yeah, that's why we don't do enough trends. Like I would like to do a lot of them, and I would like to do one trend several times in different ways. But he doesn't want to do that. So that's where we conflict also. Like obviously we also have arguments about this, right? So that's where we are like, that's why he's like, what is our take on it around the current issue? And that's it. Like we can't repeat it several times unless the trend is going on forever, which it never does. 3 months now down the line, the trend's dead, right? So a new trend has come.
Yeah, I think in fact every 4 days there's a new trend. So again, coming back, any one last instance where you know that some content you put out and it didn't do well. What was like going on? I mean, yeah, I think in social media, if you're sad also, in next 3 days you will cover up. That is so for sure. You'll forget it very fast. But that thing of that moment of like, hey, it's gone. Yeah, I mean, so much hard work I've put in, and
so we tried like a different type of, because we got into food videos when I came in, because I wanted to try lifestyle videos as well. So the last time we tried a talking food video. We tried a few times. Many of them did really well. The Pani Puri did really well. But the cheesecake also did well, actually.
Yeah.
But I thought it would do better. I thought it would do better. And I was not too happy about it in the beginning because I thought
Tell me the true emotion. I want to know the true emotion.
I was really disappointed, honestly, because I put it and it's like first 5K, then 10, and then now it became like maybe 30, 40. But with time, right?
With time, right?
Yeah, so that really bothered me in the start. And I was still bothered until 4 days ago, actually. We were in a service lane walking and some dude stopped us. He's like, oh, tidding, tidding. I loved your cheesecake video. I was like, thank God, validation. Yeah, but till then it was like, did we do, like, should we have done better? But I want to do more of that. Because if you do the food videos that food bloggers are also doing, I would love to continue that. But I want to have our take on it. Because it's also very difficult, honestly. It's not that easy to represent food in a beautiful way all the time. The lighting of the restaurant does not permit it at all. Yeah. So how do we make it interesting? And our element is comedy. How do we add that into it? So we want to do more of that. So that discouraged me. But then it did well. Like, the validation will get.
You get it, like as time passes, you get it.
Obviously, then people say I don't care about validation and all that. Like
it does.
It does.
Like
a little bit it matters.
It does to everyone. So
it's like when you're working, you have a job and you're performing well, you get a bonus. It matters. Like, it's good that you got it.
Do you read comments of?
Yeah, I read all comments.
Do you? I don't read your comments. I'm just because the creative will. Yeah,
that's what I don't.
I want to know. No. That's the thing. You'll read your own comment.
Yeah.
Do you get a lot of hate comments? What's the scene?
Not a lot. Not a lot. Yeah, some. Yeah.
Tell me your take on hate comments. What do you think about that? With the ones that you get.
I think sometimes when you put up videos about other countries, etc., the country that might not be supporting it, opposing, they start fighting in the comments. That's fine, because then that gives us a lot of reach. But when we get hate to us, it does bother, but it's not too frequent, honestly.
Do you like, for me, I sometimes get hate wherein legit, if you read some hate comments, everyone gets it. They didn't get the joke. They're trying to.
That's happened.
Like, I have not done it. It's just a joke.
Yeah.
You don't get, like, there might be times you might flip with such stupid comments, even though has such things happened. Like, you just, like, for unnecessary, you understand that the person has not got it, and it's not you. It's just a character, it's a funny content.
Yeah.
But you read it and you boiled up.
It does bother me. Like, initially I would be like, let's respond to it. And I would love to do that. But he was like, no, because he's been here for so much longer in this industry in a way. He's like, there's no point.
Yeah.
But I would love to respond to it. Like, I would love to make it a public thing. But I know. Then it's like drama, I would like, drama is great, but
yeah, it's actually great.
But it's not in the best light here. Like, what if you say something controversial?
Yeah, I'll tell you one very controversial thing. I don't know if anyone knows this. I had put a video on Metro, and I didn't know the rules much well. So one person commented, "How is he posting people's faces on the video?" And then,
other people in the Metro. Yeah.
So and it was like I didn't realize. So, and they tagged Dubai police. 5 minutes Dubai police reacts messages. Yeah, it did. So, and I mean, when I read the comment, I know that they want me to do something about it, but do not want the actual action. So, Dubai police writes on the post that if you find it's offensive content, then this is the website. Go and put a complaint.
Okay.
Yeah, I really felt that Dubai police was just saying, just remove the gun and do it. So 5 minutes, the content is out. I don't want to take it.
It's not worth it, yeah. We've had that also. Like, not Dubai police, but we've had it with another government. Like, I don't know.
Oh shit.
It's like people are tagging them.
Tell me that. It's like
It's like, okay, we had this one video sent to us by a follower by Dubai police and a girl who asked him for Eid and he gave her Eid.
Yeah.
So we were really scared to put it out, but we were like, let's put it. And people kept tagging them. Like, as though it's a bad thing that he's doing. But he wasn't, and they said nothing. So like, thank God. But then, like, I've seen some blue tick official people seeing our story. I'm like, oh, what's gonna happen? It's so scary.
Yeah. I mean,
But
we all know
RTA, RTA had seen for something, I don't know for what, but I was so scared. But like, it's nothing. Like, I think there was this one video that somebody had sent him on Reddit.
how. Okay.
And RTA was like, take that video down. Like,
Yeah,
he got a message from them.
And then you
Then we
take
took
it
it down, yeah.
Yeah, coming to like your focus is trying to build the Dubai community, if I'm not wrong, right? Now, when the locals, like I also understood because even I have seen, but when locals come and see, what is your emotions when you see? Like, I want to know
Locals
like,
come and see what? You mean like our content?
Like how you got scared when, like, what
So
goes
we've
to your mind?
even had interactions with locals who create content on TikTok. Like, say we contacted them, they didn't respond, and we put their video. So they do get really angry about it. Like, we've had those incidences where he would just remove the video and leave it. But what I do is I talk to them because I am a communicator. Honestly, I love to communicate and understand what's happening. So I straight up say, okay, we're sorry we took it, and like we always ask for permission. But sometimes something happens or we got it from somewhere else, so we thought there's a permission. Sometimes there's a lot of assumption in this content creation field, honestly. So then I just say that. And then they have a lot of anger to throw at me. I take it. And then I say I'm sorry. Then they're like, okay, I really loved the way you handled this. Thanks. So I do all of that. Like you have to respect the country you're in, honestly.
Okay, I have two questions about social media content, and then we'll move to the main other topic which I want to talk about. The first one would be, what do you think about the social media space in Dubai? Is it going to grow? What's happening?
I think that's the thing. So I knew there was a lot of potential, and I knew when he started it, had he continued, then I don't know what would it be today. So then I do have that, like, oh, you should have done this, done that, but there's still like a lot of potential because it's not like India, and it's not like what I've seen in the UK and India. That's only the two markets that I've seen, and it's not there yet.
It's
not even close to it, right?
There's a lot to go.
There's a lot there. So I feel there's a lot of potential, but the problem is there's not a lot of audience.
Here.
Yeah, like the people are lesser, right? How many people are living in the UAE compared to India, compared to the UK? They are lesser.
Yeah, now that you tell me, now I realize that's.
So that's why I'm okay. I think 55k is great.
Yeah,
it might be like 200k for India, you know.
Yeah, for Dubai and for our city,
it's like 100k might be a million. Like
55,
I have to do that comparison.
Correct. It's actually a bigger thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Coming to the next question, as you are actually, if I'm not wrong, you're spearheading Tidding, and you're the one now going to be the running it through. What are your what is like your plans? What are you planning or visioning? Okay, this is what I want to have you all. As in the start you said not thought and all, but I'm quite sure you must have thought something. Like, what are you planning? What do you think we're going to expect in coming years now? Because this is going to happen. You'll have already dived in, so it's going to happen.
We have to do it.
Yeah,
now people have hopes.
Yeah, it's going to be a company and all, obviously. So what do you vision? How do you look at it?
So I vision that like Vivid Bharati grows on its own separately, and that's his personality, right? But I feel Tidding grows more and more as a UAE comedy page. And with lifestyle, all of it together, but from a comedy angle. And hopefully we'll do more parodies, more skits, and grow to a level where people are not bothered to watch a YouTube video. Because YouTube, like, it's great for vlogs and it's great for reactions, but like, I do feel sometimes skits and parodies are kind of dead there. When TVF started, that time it was a YouTube community. Everybody loved YouTube. So I want to be able to do YouTube and Reels, where we can push people from Reels to YouTube. Because I do love long content. Like, it's great when he can write a series, a skit. It can be great, like a short film. We'd love to do all that, and I would love to do that in the future with people. Fortunate if we ever can hire more people.
You will, obviously.
So
I don't know, it'll happen.
Yeah,
it's going to happen.
That's the future. I hope.
I think Tidding as a name has a ring. I mean, I don't know what will happen. It's a ring. Which, it's the actual ring, but it also has a ring to it.
Yeah, I get that.
People might have that feeling that yes, this is going to grow. I mean, I was having a word with Dhruv Manyar Gulf Buzz. Even Gulf Buzz has a ring to it, similarly to Tidding. I also feel that social media is a huge page. It's not that if you're following one page doesn't mean you don't want to follow others. You're going to still follow.
And I think every page is unique in its way.
Yeah. So I'm quite sure it's going to grow. Coming to the aspect which I think all content creators should talk about is the mental health. Because at the end of the day, social media is just numbers sometimes, or actually majorly it's numbers. Content driven, yes, but numbers, yeah. Because if you pick up many videos on on Instagram, you will just find ridiculous numbers on nonsense videos. So the fact is that the legit content creators, let's take Rohit also. I have learned one thing in life, that if you laugh a lot, there is a lot of things that you're hiding.
That's true, yeah.
So
I think every comedian has that, huh? Like there's a deep ocean.
I mean, you can't be funny if you've not got the hit.
That's
right. I mean, it's not going to come if you're like, huh. And I mean, I don't want to know. I mean, he's not spoken about it, so I do not want to deep dive. But
but in general, it's not only about him.
Yeah, whatever you can share. I want to know, like, your mental health when it comes to numbers will really get messed up when it's numbers. Whether it be social media, whether it be some guy in sales, like you're not able to achieve your targets. Why I'm saying this is because I was also in sales, so I can relate. In studies, again, you are not like, there are a lot of different kids as well, right? Like there are some having great memory, some people don't have great memory. It's like in a school there are different types of animals. Not right to say that, but yeah, tiger, lion, bird. If you tell a tiger to fly, it's not gonna happen, right? That's the whole idea. That's where the bird gets the pressure, and like the tiger gets the pressure. I can't fly, but I am the tiger, which later on in life happens. But here's where
they don't realize. It's like how I was saying, I wanted to fit in.
Yeah,
people,
like how you said that.
That's how it is, unfortunately. It's like I wanted to get into content earlier, but I was really shy. I just was like, people will judge me. I was really scared of judgment, honestly. And I could have gotten into it. Like, we have videos from like 2014, 15 that are not, no, God knows where they are. But I had recorded them, honestly.
Right.
So I was really scared to do all of that. And most people, it's like there are, obviously, I think Gen Z is quite comfortable with TikTok, etc. But there might be some who aren't.
Yeah.
Right? So to get on that, can I edit? Can I do this? I think everyone has a lot of self-doubt. It's not just like, I always thought it was just me. But everybody has some self-doubt in something.
Like I was also like shocked to know your two different personalities. You were telling me you're extrovert. I mean, yes, you are like
slightly. More than him. Yeah.
I'm an introvert, eh? What?
It's like how he was saying he was shy to put himself on. Like otherwise, he would have started trading a lot longer.
Yeah, it's like the podcast is just showing some other thing. But that's how people are. Like sometimes in performance, for me in performance, you'll never see my introverted side. You will see my extroverted side as well.
It's like if anyone puts a comment also, it's like my issue with being shy was I was not always shy. When I was younger, when I was a kid, I would love going around dancing, being in skates. That was always a part of me. But if someone said something, like that did happen, someone said something, I don't even know what it is right now. I don't even remember. But it stays with you.
Yeah.
And then you think that becomes your world because, okay, I'm so not good. I suck.
I think the word is scar you.
Yeah, it's scar. Like that's your new trauma, and your trauma is your personality now. Like that's what happens. And that's the problem. Like imagine, I just started doing it 6 months ago and now I'm able to do it because that was always something I had. But I was always living in that trauma. And unfortunately with content creation, people love to have lots of comments. Honestly, like I post random stuff on TikTok right now, just on my profile.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of hate. There's a lot of like some guy saying some rubbish. Now I'm not bothered about it. But my younger self was. And then I would stop. I would delete my full TikTok, like, because I'm not a content creator. I'm just doing it for fun, right? Like, so unfortunately, we've got to understand that people want to just comment on stuff because they have a lot of time to do that.
Yeah.
And people love to hate. Yeah, it's a small thing. It's like how in school people would love to gossip, and even we might like to. It's just a larger version of that gossip. It's hating on you now, and we've got to accept that's them and that's us, and we've got to continue doing what we like to do.
Coming to why we are talking about mental health, because you told me you have studied and you're in the profession. I want to know, like, not quickly, but how does a person come to know that he actually needs help?
I'm not in the profession. I'm just going to clear that out.
Okay,
sorry.
So, cool.
So I do, like, I think I've gone through a lot of, like, I moved abroad when I was 18. So that was a real shocker for me. Like, I didn't have a culture shock because I had traveled quite a bit then. But things that you have to do, because I was from Mumbai, I was honestly spoiled at home. Like princess treatment, everything is there for you. I didn't know how so many things you're supposed to do by yourself. Like all of that was difficult. And it did put me in a massive slump. Like I was really upset about lots of things. And the new people you meet, then I assume people are going to judge me for my accent. And so many things happen to you. Honestly.
I might have judged because I just thought like...
No, but that time I had an Indian accent.
No, I'm not judging.
And then I got a British accent. Then I came to India. Then I tried to change. Like I was like, okay, my British accent's coming out naturally. And what if that's become me? Now I've got to go back because then I'll get lots of attention and I don't want attention. Like I don't want any spotlight on me. That's how it was for me. So that's what happens. Like, sorry, the profession, so her mental health. So that's where my journey began. Because when something traumatizes you or something bothers you, eventually you won't let that be you, because then it'll just seep in deeper and deeper. So I tried to fix that in many terms. I did a lot of yoga, meditation, therapy, learning about it myself, educating it, going to classes that teach you about mental health, etc.
You've gone to classes as well?
I've done all of it. Dude, for 2 years, I've done all of it. I went for a 21-day yoga camp also, where they did meditations. 5 hours meditation per day.
5 hours?
I was like, I told my mom, I'm going to run away from here. She's like, okay, 7 days later you can, because 7 days, I don't want to leave you alone at home. Because she didn't want to leave me alone, because she doesn't know what I'll get up to. And I'm honestly, because I was really depressed at that time. So I was like, fine.
Can we talk about it?
Yeah, sure.
So tell me that, what happened? What was the scene that you had to do 5 hours?
Oh, the yoga camp you want to talk about?
No, what happened? Why were you
so that's how yoga camps are. Like, you got to do a lot of meditation.
No, why, like, if you want to share, if you can share, what was the thing that made you depressed? Why we are talking also, because depression might be because of various reasons.
Yeah,
I think it's
quite a taboo topic. I don't know why. Like, I think everyone goes through some phases maybe, but not maybe clinical depression. I don't even know if I went through.
How old were you, if I can ask? Were you a kid, child?
I was 23, college? 24.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So not that long ago, honestly. So.
Okay. Was it breakup?
Yeah, but it wasn't breakup completely. What happens when you have a breakup, which everybody goes through, and people are like, oh, I've never had a relationship before my marriage. It's not the breakup, it's the thing that it triggers.
Oh yeah,
it triggers your childhood trauma that you don't even know existed.
Okay.
You are like, it's a small thing. It's a small thing. It's like, say somebody pushed you by the train and you were a young kid. It could trigger anything. No, this not happen. I don't know what example to give. Let me think about it.
I'll tell you my example. Okay, when you talk about breakup, I think breakup is one of the biggest reasons for people going sad and then going for depression. It can not only be breakup, it can be like a crush crushed you.
Yeah.
Or you liked somebody, but then that person likes someone. It's a lot of stories. In my case, I remember when I had this time, I really didn't want to be in the relationship, to be actual dead. Yeah. I was there in the relationship because I didn't have anyone, so we were there, and then I wanted to get out of the relationship, to the point I was like, God, please get me out of here. But then this happened, so God literally heard my prayers, and this breakup happened, and the breakup happened, she cheated on me. So in my mind, I forgot that I wanted her to go anyhow. And I had like slipped into some sort of crazy, like, obviously, I mean, depression will take you to death and all that.
Yeah, but that's one of the thoughts. Doesn't mean you'll always.
Yeah, but I was in that now what? I was like, oh God, because I think that was the time when I was like, I think in the relationship I'm not contributing, so I think I should get myself in, and I was like, let's restart this thing, and that's the time when this happened. And then at least for 3 months I was like, dead, like gone, like, oh God, Bhagwan, hitting my head.
Like, how do you get over it? How do you get over it?
That's the thing, and I was like really sad because then I was seeing with that guy and that all, right? So for me to get out of it was reading this book called The Secret.
Oh yeah, it's lovely. Yeah.
And then that's where I started reading a lot of books to just keep yourself motivated. So after that, I've had a lot of career downfalls and all that, but I think for me that those books have really helped me. Coming to your thing, I want to know your story now. What happened?
So I realized that, I have this habit where I don't put myself first. I'm always that person.
Okay.
Because I don't put myself first, I resent the other person for putting themselves first, which is wrong of me to do. Everybody has bad issues that you've got to adjust with, blah, blah, blah. But I think, honestly, I believe external issues are really important. External people can really impact you when you're younger. But eventually, you've got to take a hold on your own self. Like, you cannot blame somebody else for your depression unless you've gone through something extremely traumatic. It's like your mental health is in your hands in a way.
Yeah.
And people know what to do now. The millennials and Gen Z know they should go to therapy.
Oh, yeah.
They know all of that. But we are scared of it because it's still a taboo. So I'm glad that you're talking about it, because I do hope that people do go for it and it's not something that remains a taboo. But I feel like resolving it yourself, talking to your friends, all of that, that's not great. So I'll tell you, you said what happened to me. You were so like keen to know, God. So I feel like, because I was in London, I was far away from everything, and I'd already distanced myself from India in total. Spoken English, everything was like, nothing was in Hindi or Indian about me at all. You know, people even assumed I was British Indian because I had such a strong accent, dressed like that, everything was like, you know, tartan and all, like Scottish as well, everything. But then I realized, like, you know, you kind of go through an identity crisis. So when you do have a tiff with even a friend, even if you break up a friendship, I think that is also really traumatizing. So all of that, when you go through, you realize that, like, you know, you always think, oh, the person did something to me, like in your sense. But did you do that to yourself in a way? Like, did you ever cheat on yourself? Like, did you not accept yourself? Doesn't mean in that
Not
sense,
directly,
not
yeah,
directly,
yeah.
but you are somewhere responsible for something, and you allowed that to happen, right? So that's, well, I did not realize it then. I was like, you know, everybody hates me, everything sucks, blah blah blah. But with time, I realized that, like, there was a lot of things from my childhood where, for example, I stopped. I was shy to go on screen. I was like, honestly, a lot of body image issues. Like, the skinnier I become, only then I'll be on screen. And I was really skinny, dude. Like, I'll show you a picture.
Yeah?
Yeah, like, I used to love going to the gym. I used to go to the gym 5 times a week, eat healthy, all of that. But I always had that. Like, because we grew up in this TV world where it was not body, like, all body inclusive. It was not like that. There was so many things. So, like, all of that came up. Who am I? Am I, like, where do I belong? You know, am I there? Am I don't understand what is that? So it was like all of that.
So how did you you spoke about it? How did you you took therapy? Did you take?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
How did that like come? Ki, okay, let's do therapy, or who brought this to you?
So, like, a lot of friends would say that
Because why I'm saying, because Gen Zs, I mean, everyone knows. I think our age and all, I don't think so it was that prominent. I mean, we were talking about some 5-6 years back, and that I don't think so anybody was talking about it at all. It's
At all,
now.
yeah,
It's now because social media, everybody's talking about it. But that time, how did you come across the whole therapy thing, and you know you have to work
so
on
a
that?
lot of people saw that I was very obviously depressed.
Oh,
like,
okay.
it was that evident, I'll be honest.
Really?
Yeah, literally my colleague would sit, like, say we are sitting, we are colleagues on the committee, she would text me, are you okay? And I've got so many texts over months of with her. Like, she's asking me, no, I'm there for you. She was lovely, absolutely, Patricia, love you. She was lovely, honestly. I used to call her Auntie P. So there are people like that who will help you out, and there were many others. And, like, nobody straight up wants to say that to you because they don't know if they can say that, go to therapy. But there were some friends who do say it. And even my mom said it, like, people were, like, encouraging because they want you to get better.
Yeah.
You know, it is just because it's not a visual problem. Like, if you get a fracture, people will be like, oh my god, oh my god, I'll help you out.
Yeah.
People should do that even to mental health.
Yeah.
And some people did. There are some people, great people out there who will do that. And I feel people pushed me and I didn't want to go.
Okay.
I really didn't want to go because I'm like, baat karke kya hoga? Kya hone wala hai?
What happens in therapy? I want to know. Actually, I have not gone through, and I want to know like.
I think
what all
honestly,
goes into
it's
therapy.
not. I think my mistake was that I should not only go for it when I'm depressed.
Oh.
You should just go for it. Like, you will always have a conflict with someone you're dating, relationship, sister, mother, father, brother, whatever. You will have conflicts that might trigger something in the past. Like, you know, maybe there are some things that you have an extra reaction to. And later you're like, what? I overreacted on it. There's a reason for it. Every overreaction has a traumatic response from the back. Always.
Okay.
There's always going to be
I'm
something.
just trying to connect dots.
You will, now when you think about it, it will be the truth.
Yeah. And
I'll be, for example, like, me and Rohit have, like, he said he is survival driven, right? Survival driven. I'm emotional driven because my family is a lot more emotional. Like, I have been spoiled and we have been comfortable in life. So I always value emotions. So if we are striving on Tidding so much and we've not got our time, I have a problem with that. It triggers me. It triggers me massively. We're going on a date, but it should not be a food video.
get it.
That triggers me, honestly, because I want that time. And people be like, you're always together. We're always together. We work out, we do everything together. But it's not the same.
That's work.
So that's who I am. But for him, unless everything is done and we are making money and all of that is not coming in, it'll bother him. So first, obviously, that's very important. Even for me, obviously, everybody wants to survive. But when that's met, maybe just cut to cut. You have to meet my needs. And like I made that very clear. And it's very difficult to understand what your needs are. And only therapy will teach you that. Like eventually when you'll be in a relationship, etc., how do you communicate how you want to be loved, for example? How do you communicate that? You're like, that person doesn't understand, but they are doing the best they can and they want to. And they know. They don't know what you want.
Right.
Nobody knows what you want, not when you're parents. Like you've got to communicate that. You also don't know. So you've got to get therapy for that.
Yeah. Coming to therapy, now when you talk about therapy for mental health, I don't know much about this. I mean, I might know about the problems that your mind gives you, but I do not know much about therapy. For me, when I say therapy, I think talking to one friend and
having a drink.
Yeah? I know, I don't drink, so
you don't
that's not where I relate. But talking to a friend or talking to somebody would be what is my understanding of therapy. What is actually therapy for mental health? That is what I want to know.
So it is talking to someone. You'll be talking to your therapist, right?
Okay, so there are.
So they will ask you certain questions that, like, they will just ask you what is the concern right now, like whatever something drove you to come here, right? To come to therapy, not here. But, you know,
yeah. Okay. I mean, you already said it's not necessarily when you're only sad.
Yeah.
You can. I mean, I think I read this long back, wherein therapy or your mental health is not to be focused only when you're sad. It's like your muscle.
Yeah, it's like going to the gym.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's like going to the gym, which is important.
It is important.
It's not like, okay, you want to.
So like there are two. Like some people would go when they are having a concern, but if you're just going in general, you can just talk about anything in your life that's happening. So then they will ask you questions that you haven't even thought of. That will bring up stuff that you know that you can evolve in. Like therapy will not change you. It will just, honestly, you will evolve as a person. You will become your true self in a way that you kind of hid because of judgment or traumatic incidents. Right. Everyone's gone through something. Maybe just something your mom shouted at you with, and she was not serious, but as a kid you think it's such a big thing, right?
And then you
got to heal that. Like no matter, you'll be like, oh, it's fine. It's not fine. It's not fine for you, and that's just the truth.
So is it necessary that people should go and meet, or can therapy be done on a video call or phone call?
It can be done,
yeah. It can be done?
It can be done, yeah.
Oh, I don't know that.
Definitely, I think that's also great. Like after COVID, that changed, and that's amazing. Like people are doing a lot of my friends are doing therapy on Zoom.
Okay, and in therapy, like if you talk, how much time do you think? Do you just keep going?
You keep going. Yeah.
You keep going.
You keep going unless you want to solve something, or say you go for a few months, then you know that's your therapist, and then you'll only go to her. Like say you want to work on. Like some people have an emotional response to everything. They cry about stuff or they get super angry. They want to work on that because eventually things that are these things that are your nits and whatever, they do become bigger as you grow, right? Like if you have a partner and you get super angry and you don't want to do that to that person, then you'll talk about it. Or you don't want to always have an emotional response. You don't know where it comes from, so you'll be able to talk. But initially you've got to build. Honestly, I think it's like dating. Because you've got to find the right therapist. Yeah. So unfortunately, you'll have to go and talk to more and more people, and you'll have to like build that relationship with that therapist. Only then will you be able to understand that this is my person, and I'll be able to go to that person for everything and anything.
I think nowadays a lot of people, they keep talking about their stuff, personal stuff, good, bad, on social media. A lot of things. Do you think that's a good way to approach stuff, like especially if it's a negative thing?
I think if you're comfortable with the negative feedback you might get. People might say anything and everything to you about it. They might even say, why are you taking this so seriously? Just get over, oh, I hate that term. Just get over it. But you have to be, like, it might be something that people will say to you. And if you're okay with that, then it's fine. Because then there are going to be people who will help you also. But you must still seek professional help. It's like going to the gym, right? You go to the gym, you run on the treadmill, you don't know what these machines are. When a personal trainer comes into your life, they teach you, but you don't need them forever. Now you know what to do. You can do it yourself. If you need them, you can get them back. Exactly like that. It's exactly like that.
Okay. And if I have to get a little more deeper, do you know any like good therapists in Dubai or in India?
I know in India.
You should, like, if people really are facing some really crazy situations and
I know in India, and I know that here, like I haven't been here that long actually. I've only been here 2 years.
Okay.
So I know there are lots of centers here who do healing and other types of healing things.
Any name?
I wouldn't wanna.
No?
I wouldn't wanna promote them because I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't been to it myself, so I don't want to promote something I haven't used.
Mm-hmm.
But there are actually therapy centers as well that just have group conversations and things. There are things like that.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember something, but I'll send it to you later.
Okay. Okay.
But not for you to go.
Nah, I get it.
See, but that's the thing.
No,
Why'd you get offended?
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's
Sorry.
the problem.
Okay.
That's the reaction.
No, that's the thing. Okay. Thank you. But coming to the part, okay, now you've taken therapy. How as a person, like what happens or how do you say, yes, this has helped me? Like what all changes that when you went to therapy, what changes you noticed that, yes, this actually has brought in wonders? What happened? Like what are the changes that happened with you?
Like, I think I stopped focusing on what other people thought of me.
Okay.
Majorly, because I realized my worst critic was myself. And I worked on that.
So this was something which was...
that was my biggest problem, yeah.
It was also something that was worked upon on therapy, or just suddenly came as self-realization?
No, yeah, it was worked on.
Okay.
It's like saying something I learned. It's like everybody in some way is a reflection of you.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in some way. Something you don't like about them, think why you don't like it and do you have it. You might have it. You might not like that about you. That's why you don't like it about them.
Okay.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is something I majorly did work on. It's like that when you love yourself, you love everyone in a way. It's definitely a thing that you can have more compassion for people and all of that. So that was a big thing for me. And the way, so other ways like doing Tidding. I had no confidence. I'm still on screen, but now I have more confidence about it. And I meet people who recognize me.
Yeah.
Like that was really scary for me earlier. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that now. And I am not also an extrovert. I can't network and talk to people. But now we go to random parties to talk to people. I can do that now. I could do that before because in London my job revolved around that was semi-sales, semi-events, so many things. So I could do that, but on a professional level. But now as influencers, content creators, like we've got to meet people and it could be random. It's not a networking event. It's a random party, randomly in a cafe. And I'm able to have a conversation with them and actually keep in touch more than him. And I feel like that's like such a positive thing for me, like a feather in my cap that I'm able to do it better now. So for me, it's evolving because I know myself. I know my drawbacks. Or what not drawbacks, but things I couldn't do, because of which I can do it now.
So are you you're still in the therapy thing?
No, I'm not yet at the moment. Because I feel like I have the tools to work with things right now. But if I need, I'm not opposed to it.
And currently, like as you're not taking therapy, are there any things that you're currently following which helps you keep that, like for me it's reading books. I really love reading now. I was not a ferocious reader or anything, but now I like to read books on a lot of mental health stuff and self-help books. That's my thing.
I love self-help books.
That really makes me really happy for some reason. What are the steps currently that you are taking? Because as we've discussed that you should keep taking therapy.
I feel
now
like
that you're not.
When I don't talk to someone about it, I write to myself, like in a way. Like you're writing journal about it, but journal about how it makes you feel. Not only how my day was, like how it massively makes you feel. And when you write about it, more things come up.
So you write the negative stuff as well?
Yeah, all of
everything.
Not always. Like I think since Tidding, it's been very difficult to do that because time has and like my nana passed away recently.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
That's okay. But that's when I like a lot of things then got triggered.
Oh, okay.
It's not like because I wasn't there, and then I realized that I'm not giving time to myself because we're focusing on a business, and I haven't given time to just being free and being okay and having my weekend. There's no weekend. And I realized all these things then. Something is still going to trigger you even if you have the tools. And then I'm open to going to it again, yeah.
That's nice. In your journey with Tidding, how do you feel? Do you feel the work that has come has really imbalanced stuff up? I mean, right now it's too much.
Sure. I think it is a lot, but because I enjoy it and it's not like a big strain on me. Like sometimes a job feels like that, right? I don't feel that. Because of that, I think it's like a kind of my happy space.
Okay.
So I love that. And because of which, that's when I realize I'm not giving myself time for other random, like going out with my friends, going to the salon and all that. Like it's important to do all this, right? I was not doing. That's why I joined the gym now. I'm going to get a trainer, only then I'll go. because it gives you that dopamine rush.
Yeah.
And I pet sit for like cats and dogs and all that.
Really?
I love doing that.
I think pets also are a good.
Yeah, for sure. They are.
Oh, that's nice.
Sure. So I do all of that's when I realized that I have to do more of do things with my time, and like Tidding does give me that happy space, but it's one space. Like there's a lot more out there.
So we'll
We've got it really deep.
No problem. That's got more content. So we'll sum up everything about mental health and all. Let's talk about social media, guys. The people who are creating content. I think for me, I really feel that every content creator or anyone who is trying to do a career in social media is going to be affected by mental health big time, because the comments are directly going to come on you, whether through people's comments or through the numbers. So you are going to be hit. Now for people like us, any tips that you think you should try this? I mean,
like mental health for social
therapy
media.
costs, right? So I mean, the thing is that you should do therapy at least once. You should do it. That I would say I would not say ki don't do that. Do this.
I get
I would
what you
say
mean, but still
that people sometimes can't afford that thing. What do we do? Like at least till the time that they become something. They
I
can
think
pay
going
for
into content creation, especially like an Instagram page, etc. If you're not working for a company,
right.
I realize there is no schedule.
There is no schedule and you do not know what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got to schedule your day.
Yeah.
And you've got to not like answer clients after a certain time. I know if money isn't there and you want to, then you have to. But if you reach a limit where you can take that call and focus on yourself and have a typical, like, there's a reason the work week works. Like you come to work, you go back and you don't think about work. You've got to do that because in the end it is your job. If you're going to go into that kind of content creation.
Okay.
You know, and unless you're just doing it for fun, then it doesn't matter. But if you're doing it as a job, then you have to have that schedule that, okay, this is my time. After that, I don't want to talk about it. Like, you know how it is when you're working.
Yeah, it's a big point actually.
Yeah, because I've realized that with work. Like, I liked my work when I was working in London and all. Like, and when I worked here, it was okay. But I wanted to not talk about it all the time. Because work ho gaya abhi.
Yeah.
So many days you spend working, you don't want to keep talking about it, right?
So I think scheduling it, because I really feel when there are full-time content creators, you are going to be creating content, and then this important part of scheduling your day and keeping a Saturday, Sunday for yourself also.
Oh yeah, but the content creator will never have Saturday, Sunday.
Never
so they can have a weekday, Tuesday, Thursday, anything. But it's like once you build that threshold and you know you can do it, you can afford to build it, do it. You know, and obviously I think any type of physical workout really helps, like yoga, gym, whatever you like, running, games, badminton.
Something I think which helps you get off the situation, especially which is like going to impact you. I think if it's content creation stress, if it's sales stress, if it's relationship, something that just gets you off. And I think workout, pets, books, I think
all of them. I think you should have one hobby that's not related to your work.
Oh.
And unfortunately, my hobby was creating content.
Now
so I've had to find something else.
Now you need a proper
So I pet sit now.
That's nice.
But imagine if I adopt a dog tomorrow, then I have to find another hobby.
Are you planning?
I would love to, but I know it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work. So I want to eventually be equipped. Like right now, I can't give the dog time. So I know when I can, then I will. I would love to. Or a cat. Like, I'm not opposed to either.
Yeah, okay, amazing. I mean, we had a long conversation.
I didn't expect that.
But nice. Thank you so much, Mahak, for sharing everything that you could share with us. I think we'll have another session talking more. But for now, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chalo, end. Mental health has been a topic that many people are talking about right now. And on today's podcast, it was so good to hear Mahak's actual journey on mental health. It's so inspiring to know that we are not alone. Like everyone needs to take care of their mental health, because like our other muscles need workout, so does this brain inside, which works 24 hours. So if you like this podcast, don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms, especially Spotify. Because if you are the one who wants to listen or be the first listeners of our podcast, you need to follow us on Spotify, because we upload our podcast there 48 hours before YouTube. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this one from Dubai. Take care.